Hello, Monarch community. This is Monarch Engineering with Mr. Stalter. I teach the Introduction to Engineering Design, the Design and Manufacturing, and the Engineering Design and Development classes. You can contact me by my school email, which is shane.stalter@bvsd.org. My office hours are during the first part of second period. Access period is from 3:10, technically 3. Just give us some time to get the fourth period class out the door, virtually, I guess. And then Tuesday through Friday, that access period is from 3:10 to 4 p.m. Give me a heads up, give me an email so we can meet up on Google Meet so we can actually walk through some things. Here's a list of my Schoology access codes. So for first period, third period, and fourth period. This is my 5th year at Monarch High School. This is my 21st year teaching. I am a technology education major from the University of Northern Iowa, so I'm in the career field that I went to school for. I've taught at several schools. I actually student taught at Monarch High School and Monarch K-8 back in 1999, last century. Then I taught at El Dorado K-8 for 4 years, and then Arvada West High School for 8, Stanley Lake for a couple years. Then when I came back to Boulder Valley, I was at Broomfield Heights Middle School and Louisville Middle School for a year. I am the sponsor and a mentor for Best Robotics, which we are not running this fall due to just logistics and COVID-19 issues. I am also the mentor and advisor for First Robotics, which takes place in January. I coached basketball at El Dorado K-8 as the 8th grade boys coach. My interests include motorcycles, fishing, really all types of fishing, sports, really all levels of sports. I do spend a lot watching middle school and my kids' sports. Love snowboarding when I can get a chance. I'm currently restoring a 1965 Volkswagen van, split window or windshield. And I love all kinds of manufacturing technology, working with tools and building things. As far as class expectations, students need to be punctual. Your student should be logged in before class starts. Most of the instruction is at the beginning of class. The Google Meets link is at the top of the Schoology page. We have a chat room during our Google Meet, so there's written communication as well as verbal. Students can unmute to ask questions, or they can type something into the chat room as a question. They need to stay on the entire period. This has been a problem. Students are coming and going. They come in, they leave, and they come back and fill out the exit slip. We're trying to put a stop to that, so help me with that. Students are responsible for anything discussed in the class period. They're expected to work to solve problems. These are future engineers. These are future STEM students in careers. Technology has many problems. We can't just put our head between our legs and act like this isn't going to happen. We need to problem solve, right? So it's not the end of the world if you can't log on. We have to figure out a way to fix those. Something new this year is that we are on the Amazon Web Service, which is their cloud, and students are able to actually run PC-based or Windows-based SolidWorks on Chromebooks. We can actually run the Adobe Creative Cloud and a few other softwares, but SolidWorks is primarily on Windows machines with lots of RAM. We can currently run a Chromebook to run SolidWorks, which is really impressive because SolidWorks requires 16 gigs of RAM in order to function properly. Some of the design challenges we're going to have, and that's going to be in flux a little bit, but 3D printed phone holders, 2-liter bottle rockets, and truss design. So a lot of this stuff might be built or designed by students and then built by Mr. Foreman, who's my student teacher this year. Right? So we want the students to focus on the design, and then Mr. Foreman and I will try to do our best to keep up with the manufacturing of these designs. Currently, we're down to about 30 minutes a day to plan, grade, prepare, and build. So that's going to be a tight window. So we'll do the best we can. Small group decision-making fundamentals, right? In order to reduce the amount of projects and to get students working in small groups, they need to learn some decision-making fundamentals. Small groups is a good skill that students can have moving forward in their careers. Student contacts teacher to resolve problems first. Please have the student and teacher try to work out the problem before parents get involved. Obviously that depends on the degree of incident, but if it's an attendance issue, if it's a grading issue, please let the student and the teacher work that out prior to parents becoming involved, right? A lot of times, especially in the online world, I never even get to talk to the student, and I'm talking more to the parent than I am the student. And I think if you want them to be independent someday, I think we need to let the student try to problem solve even social or grading or academic issues prior to the parent becoming involved. Help me with that, please. The expectation is students have pride in their work. Treat group members with respect. Okay? Daily participation. This is defined by being in the virtual classroom the entire class period, completing the exit slip, and responding when called on. If a technical problem occurs, students are required to be proactive by emailing me, the teacher. Okay? So some of the things that have been happening is students will come on late, they're logged into the video conference, and then at the end of class, they're still logged in. They haven't filled out the exit slip, and it's like they have just logged in and left they want to be compliant, so they might have just logged in and walked out the front door and never came back. So if they don't fill out that exit slip, at least I know they started the class, and at least I know they were pushing buttons when they left the class. Okay? It's really hard for me to know what's going on the other side, and that's where we need parent help big time this year. Students are responsible for all the material covered in the virtual classroom and using access time to get caught up. Okay? All assignments are placed on a student's website. All my students have a Google site, right? They're asked to share that with me, and they asked to open the share settings so that parents can see it as well. So if there are any issues on grading and assignments, please review your student's website first before contacting me. That is it's cloud-based. Parents, teacher, student can all see that. And when they go on there and they share me the link, that's how I grade. So if it's not on that website, that's why it's maybe not graded or graded poorly. It's their portfolio. It's where they're going to show growth in their sketching and their 3D modeling. This can even be used for future careers or resumes. You will see comments on assignments mostly through Schoology. So the way my class is set up, the assignments, the learning platforms all set up through Schoology. And currently, my Schoology does not link to my Infinite Campus, even though some teachers do. Mine does not. So I have to print off the grades out of Schoology and then post those in Infinite Campus. But the comments will mostly come on Schoology. So when students submit an assignment, I'll grade it and it kicks them back a little comment on how to improve or how they did. Attendance. Okay. This fall there seems to be some issues with IC and attendance at this time, and I think the administration is going to speak to that. Right? I am making it a practice to email parents directly when a student is not in class. So if I'm teaching class and we have a breakout session, I take attendance. If your student is not there, I will send you an email, obviously time permitting, to let you know that during class, in class, your student is not there at that particular time. Please support me in keeping your students logged on and engaged in class. I don't want that email to turn into 10 or 15 different emails and turn into an investigation of whether or not they're in there. All I'm going to tell you is that's what, if they didn't fill out the exit slip and they weren't in class, I think the evidence speaks for itself. And I'll even let you make that call. If you feel that your kid has been in class, and I'll let you make that call, right? But I'm just going to let you know, because obviously you're going to spend more time with your student than I will, and I know there's technical issues, right? But I'm trying to hold students accountable. And without your support, it's really going to be fruitless, okay? So the expectation is that you're in that classroom. You are. I get it. You get kicked out once in a while, but I'm pretty good at watching that chat and seeing, and I got a student teacher watching that as well. So just please support me. If we can at least get them to stay online, then we have a chance, okay? Right? With all that said, right, let's have a great year. Let's stay in communication. I mean, really, we are all in this together. So I'm trying to keep your kids accountable and logged on with me for 80 minutes of the day. If you see them out in the backyard, playing cornhole or doing something. Just understand I tried to keep them in the classroom for 80 minutes. Okay. All right. Let's have a good year and stay in touch. Thank you.